All right, hi everybody. Let's talk. All right, today is the first day of the third week post RNY gastric bypass, and I kind of wanted to do a summary of for week two as I go into week three, and then I think I'll just do videos for after I complete each week to kind of give you a recap of what that week kind of looked like. Every day I keep, I have the app on my phone, which is Berrytastic app, that can give me, the proteins for all the food enlisted, but I find it, I don't know, therapeutic to like write it down. I still go through the app to check and double check or if I'm unsure about a food, but I just find it really cool to just write it down. So I found this food journal from Clever Fox, and I've been using it since pre-op. To kind of keep track of, what I'm eating, what my measurements were to start with, what my weight was to start with. And so I have the very first page of that filled out. And I did this back on 4/12. My surgery date was on 4/20. So I was doing this, a good 2 weeks before that surgery date. At that time, let me just give you some beginning stats of before the bypass. I was at April 12th, 2023. I was 43.26 BMI and weighed in at 276.38 ounces. And so all that's listed here. My measurements were 15.5 neck, chest 48, bicep 17.25, waist 43.9, hips 42.5, thigh 32 inches, calf 19.5, and then I had lost maybe 3 pounds before I did the next one. So at this time I was like 273. And the highest was 276.38. And so every week I do my measurements again, and I keep track of that in the back of the journal. There's a page for like a weekly tracker, and it looks like this. I have all the way back from 4/6 at the 273, and then up 3 pounds, which I think I was like eating all the things that I wanted to eat before surgery because I knew I wouldn't be able to eat it after. So I think we were ordering like crab legs and Chinese food, and I'm just gonna eat it all before I'm not allowed to eat it, kind of thing. So it went up to 276 on 4/13, and then 1 week after post-op of the surgery. So it was 4/20 I had the surgery, and I was 276 the week before, and then a week after the surgery, so 4/27, I weighed in at 256. So I had lost a significant amount of weight there, 20 pounds from the 13th of April to the 27th of April. And I'm sure that was like completely water. I like lost the bloat. I'll actually show you some video footage, not all, some of them are highly embarrassing, but I'll show you as much as I can, and I'll insert the clip.
I'm sorry.
No.
Hey, hon.
Hold on. No, let go, I gotta walk.
Okay.
The pain hurts so bad.
Okay.
You can see that my face is puffier, I'm a little puffier. That was directly after surgery. Look at some of the things that happened this week. So in order to do that, like I said, I put all my notes in here, and we'll start from the Friday would be the first day of week 2, because this is like a week 2 recap. I was able to get to 82 grams of protein that day and get to my 64 ounces of water. I had a protein shake in the morning with collagen added to it. And a little later in the day after, I had 1 poached egg. I had a little taste. Mom made me some pureed pumpkin, and I mixed it with the protein powder, and that changed the consistency so much that I was like turned off from eating it. So I literally had like 2 tablespoons of that. The one that my mom made without mixing with the protein water, and that was enough of that. Um, and then you can see from the previous video, I made a ricotta bake with my niece. And although it looked really cool and it tasted really good, I had it that day. I had 4 ounces of that. I just lost my little cup measurement, but I had 4 ounces of that the first day. And, right. So those measurements are there. Today is the first of the third week. And so all last week I ate nothing but purees in that stage. So I went from dropping the 20 pounds because I was basically just drinking water and bone broth, and no solid food for that week after. It was just full liquids, protein shakes, water, and bone broth. And bone broth like once a day, and only about this much bone broth at a time. And so it'll be like one time this or twice this of bone broth. And so 20 pounds coming off was a lot, but I wasn't really eating, and I was recovering, a lot of sleeping. And so I knew that the week of purees, I would probably take on some of that water back. And that's exactly what happened. So today I weighed in at 257.2, which is still a significant weight loss from the starting weight, like closer to like 18 pounds. And even though the weight went up 1.2 pounds this week, the inches still went down again. And I was down 0.7 inches overall from the different measurements. Some of the measurements that went down were the waist measurement went down and the hip measurement went down. Everything else kind of either went up a half or stayed the same. And I'm sure that's just taking on food now. I'm taking on the water weight of that back. And so we'll see what next week has to offer. This week has to offer. I have today one more day of like pureed kind of food. Yeah, then I had about 4 ounces of that twice. And then after that, I was kind of turned off by it. I couldn't eat any more of it, so I threw it away. So the problem is you can only eat like 4 ounces, or at least me, 4 ounces right now at a time, which is like a half a cup. And so after 2 days of leftovers, like I don't want to eat it anymore. So it's kind of hard to make a recipe that you're gonna like portion out, because you'll literally be eating it every single day for a week. Like, that's not appetizing. So I almost would rather just eat for like 1/4 cup of cottage cheese and have it be fresh cottage cheese every day. So that didn't really work out. So I won't be making that again. Will I be eating ricotta again? Of course, but I'm gonna make like almost like a single serving at a time, like by putting the ricotta, in a little baking dish, like a ramekin, like a small little ramekin, baking it or putting it in the air fryer and then eating it and then being done with it, because I might want to eat something else the next day that's different. So that was the first day. On Saturday, I had again another protein shake with the extra collagen. That was like 59 grams of protein. So I try to knock out as much protein I can in the early parts of the day, so I'll be full. And then as it dwindles later in the day, I can't eat as much. So, it's okay if I take in less at that time and focus more on the water. Then I also had a protein water, and that was the second day that I had the little ricotta bake, which was 12 grams of protein and 3 ounces of that. And I got to later in the day, and then I just had 1 little 1/4 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese that I measured out. And that took me to 88 grams for that day and reaching the water goals. On Sunday, I did have it for 3 days. See, 3 days is my max. I had the ricotta bake again, 12 ounces. I also had 1 ounce of cottage cheese and then a shake, but I didn't put the extra collagen in at that time. And so that day I was able to make it to 68 grams of protein. So it started to like dwindle down on the protein because of the food intake. Um, After that, like the ricotta bake, we were done with that. That went in the trash. Then the Monday came and I had the low fat cheese stick. So I had two of those, like one of those at one time and then another one later on in the day. I had a little bit of Greek yogurt with Parmesan that I sprinkled into the 1/4 cup. And then I had some, like 2 tablespoons of sauce with ground chicken sausage that was pureed basically into the sauce in 1/4 cup of that. And that took me to 88 grams of protein that day. On Tuesday, I had a protein shake with the extra collagen that took me to 59. I had a string cheese that day. And then I just had ricotta, like without the bake, just putting ricotta in 1/4 cup and just eating the ricotta plain. And that took me to 96 grams of protein on that Tuesday. And then yesterday, I had 1/4 cup of egg beaters and 2 laughing cow cheese, which were 2 grams of protein each inside of that. 2 string cheeses later in the day. And then I had cauliflower mash, 1/4 cup of that. That took me to yesterday consuming about 44 grams of protein. So yesterday I was very low on protein. And so today my goal is to just get as high as I can to make up some of that without, whatever I can fit in. So far this morning, like I said, 20 grams of protein and water from the one I had on the walk. So that's pretty much how I'm keeping track of what I'm eating and hitting those protein goals in here, and taking my measurements in the back. And then once a month, we'll do a full comparison measurement as compared to the very first time and the month before. So good way of keeping track on that. Some things I'm looking forward to this week is because I get to go back, I get to incorporate soft foods in there. And that's like anything that can be mashed with a fork. And so I'm really looking forward to just being consistent with having like a poached egg for breakfast and salmon and maybe some peas that have been mashed up for dinner, and kind of feeling closer to what a real diet of food would look like. As far as exercise goes, I'm trying not to be too pushy on myself. I have a tendency to be like all in or out, kind of an extremist on that. So a part of me wants to be like, let's hit the gym, let's sign up and start going to the gym every day. They said that I could increase my activity, but not to lift more than 15 pounds. And I could do that at the gym. I can just set the weights for lower. But then I also know that I also want to be kind to myself and like slowly, gradually get where I need to be on that. And so maybe taking a month before actually signing up for the gym and going, maybe a smarter plan as I work on being consistent with walking and hitting protein goals and hitting, fluid goals. So I haven't signed up for the gym yet. My plan in my head right now is to wait till after a work trip, which would be at the end of this month, and maybe starting the gym starting June 1st, and be a true member to the gym where I'm going, 5-6 times a week for 1 hour and really working out. And by then I should be able to lift more than 15 pounds. And so we can start to tone up at the same time that we're losing. So that's a future goal. This right now, every single day when I wake up, I do a 30-minute yoga video, and then I try to get a 2-mile walk in. Right now I'm looking, it's about 10 o'clock and I'm sitting at 6,400 steps. I'm gonna stay active today because I've been kind of crashing about 11-12 o'clock and sleeping because I've just been tired from recovering. But I know that I go back to work next week, and so a goal for me is to not take a nap throughout the day, kind of stay awake until 5 o'clock so I can get the practice in of what it feels like to work my work day and not have that nap between, because I'm not going to be able to do that. And so today will be the first day that I attempt to not sit on the couch and take my afternoon nap. And so we'll see how that goes. As far as weird things that happened this week is TMI situation. So if you don't like TMI stuff, you might want to like fast forward this part. But I went to the bathroom and the poop was like white. So I got really concerned. Like, why is it white? Like, I've never had that, like, white. So I looked it up, and apparently it's a normal thing after weight loss surgery. There's some situation with bile, and shouldn't be a concern unless it's happening consistently. So we'll just have to wait that one out and see. But it was like albino white, like something's wrong with it. Yeah. Other than that, I feel great. My surgical scars actually have not fallen off yet. They said that they put like a glue on it and that it would like fall off in like 10 days. It's been like 14 days and it's still like dark glue spots on there, but they don't hurt at all. I'm gonna show it to you. Also, if you don't like gross TMI stuff, then you probably want to fast forward this part as well. All right. All right. So here they are. There's one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. And they said they would fade and do what they got to do and not to pick at them and let them fall off on their own. But they are like crusty, like scabs, and I'm just leaving them alone. Now once they fall off, I will be like putting like oil and treatment and things on it so that it like starts to fade with like the bio oil. But now I'm just leaving it alone, like a cut that you get and that scabs up, and waiting for that scab to fall off. And so that's where we are. But it doesn't hurt, it doesn't cause any pain. Nothing I ate this week was like not tolerated. It's more like the desire to eat it stopped. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to find, foods that I'm like excited to eat, but also still part of the plan and sticking on target. So that's my update for this week. Up 1.2 pounds. Still feeling great. Down a total of maybe 10 inches overall. And let's get that weight again. And 276 pounds. 257.2 pounds, which from the highest of 276 is like 19 pounds. So 19 pounds in 2 weeks. Pretty good to me. All right, guys, I'll see you at the end of week 3 to let you know how week 3 is. That will be my introduction to soft foods and see how I did. All right, bye for now.